Rainy day on the homestead. Always difficult for the goats and for me. My body doesn't want to move on a rainy day any more than theirs does. So I'm turning on the barn lights, getting some light in here so I can do somewhat of a video for you guys. The lighting in the barn is never really good, especially if I go in the stalls and try to video. It's really bad. But I will try to get a vlog and fix any of the lighting issues as best I can in Premiere Pro's editing. Usually when I repair it in Premiere Pro, the quality of the video goes down, like it gets more grainy looking. So I apologize in advance, but I'm gonna show you what we do on a rain day on Wholesome Roots farmstead. There is one group of animals that don't mind the rain days at all. That is the ducks. They have been out running around exploring the paddock with Tom, enjoying this rainy weather. Somebody has made himself very accustomed to dipping into the goat food as I'm mixing it. I literally just poured those alfalfa pellets on his head. Silly Tom, those are for the goats. Oh, you're all wet. Let me finish and then I'll give you some oats. So for the most part, the milking routine stays the same. I still bring out the same does to be milked. But while I'm in the process of getting the does out to be milked, I can go ahead and feed everybody their hay. So normally they don't get their hay until they go out there, but because they're staying in, they're gonna have hay in their stalls. So I'm gonna give everybody their small half a scoop of feed. We give a little bit as a treat to make sure that they are able to stay in the habit of eating a little bit in the morning, so that when we give the herbal dewormer, they'll eat it, you know. Not that they would probably reject it if I only gave them feed on Wednesday, but keeping their diet on a regular, consistent level of feed also helps prevent any bloat or enterotoxemia from a sudden scoop of feed on Wednesday. I don't want to risk that. That's not for you. Girls, get down. I can't open the door. If anything happens to my camera because you're being crazy, I'm gonna go backwards so I can push them with my buttocks. All right, kiddos. What are you doing? Hold on. Let me get anything out of your bowl first. Move off the bowl. Guys, I can't use the bowl if you're standing on it. Thank you. Shady, back up. There you go. Get out of the bowl, Shady. There we go. Hungry? I'd say they are. So I come in here, give them their feed, and then I grab the hay basket. I dump out any leftover hay that could have gotten stuff on it, and I put it right here next to the wall so that I can just drop the flake into the basket. And now I have a bucket of feed by the entrance of each door, and I will go in and feed everybody else. Is that good, kitty? Did you eat all your food? Did you finish it? You got a little crumbs left in there if you want to finish that up. I finished milking Kitty. She's so precious. She wanted more food, but I told her no because she was already done being milked. She's probably looking for a banana. So I make sure that I check all of their waters. If the water is not full, I fill it up. And if the water has any poop nuggets, even just one little Cocoa Puff in there, I have to change it. They will not drink it if they have pooped in it. And for some reason, they always accidentally poop in their water. So I'll probably have a couple that I need to change out anyway. But we'll do that. We'll check that their loose minerals are full, or that they have some loose minerals, top it off if it's looking like it's gonna run out. And that's about it. Ryan's gonna be bringing home straw bedding when he comes home. I wanted to add it in yesterday, but he just got paid, so we had to wait until we had the funds in our account to be able to go buy it. So I'm gonna put a bale of straw bedding down on top of what's already in there. We do deep litter bedding, so once or twice a year we clean it all out, but then we just layer it up. And that'll help for the winter months and keeping it warmer in there. And it really doesn't smell. Like some people will say, well, doesn't it smell like ammonia? Well, no, because we let it the way it works is that it's a good compost. So it's working in doing its job. A good compost shouldn't stink. And we do use PDZ, which is a horse stall refreshener, and it's a organic product, so it's safe to use. And we put that down first, and then we layer of straw on top of that. And sometimes we use barn lime as well, a layer of barn lime here and there, and diatomaceous earth, depending on the situation. Because the goats are in here right now, I won't be putting down any of those supplements because I'll be working around the goats as I put down straw. So it'll be interesting. Maybe I'll get Ryan to do that for me tonight. All right, I've got everybody done milking and back in their stalls. I let out the 3 that are getting extra buckets of feed, and they ate, and I gave everybody hay. You hear that? You hear that? The sound of hay sneezes. They're so funny. They shove their whole face in the hay. I'm like, I get a little bit of hay on my sweatshirt and I'm like uncomfortable. I don't know how they handle their whole face in there, but they do that and then they sneeze it all out. Silly goats. So I know a lot of you are probably wondering how little Miss Autumn is doing. She is doing very well. She is not out here with me as the temperature is cool and the air is damp. I don't want her to catch a chill. I won't risk it. She is eating like a champ. She is eating more than 4 bottles a day, I think, because I'm doing it on demand. So every time she stands up and cries for milk, I give her some. And she usually drinks about 10 ounces, sometimes 12. Sometimes just 8. So you know, it varies depending on how hungry she is. But she's peeing and pooping, and we're working on her physical therapy. Her legs do seem to be a bit more weak than they should be at this point. I think that the malnourishing symptoms have waned. They've gotten better as far as like the energy. She seems to be awake more often. But there's definitely no jumping, but I do have her walking around in the house. So not all the time. But when she's awake and active, I purposely take her out and I say, come on, Autumn, and I make her follow me and walk. And I watch her legs and I see how they're moving. And when one looks a little stiff, I exercise it. I bend it and move it. We're giving her selenium and E. So there could be a mild selenium deficiency happening with her legs symptoms, but it could also be just because she hasn't used them a lot. So those muscles have not developed as much as her brothers. So we are continuing with the physical therapy and the awesome bottles of milk and cuddles all the time. She gets lots of cuddles. This goat is going to be the friendliest goat. But I just wanted to reassure everybody that this goat is definitely going to make a full recovery, and there's definitely nothing wrong with her. The only thing that's wrong with her is that her mom had triplets. So mom didn't have enough milk. And selenium deficiency is quite common in kids in our area, so having a little bit of leg stiffness and needing a little selenium is not uncommon, even though her mom was given selenium once a month and given selenium the weekend of her birth. So it's not uncommon, and it's just a deficiency. It's just a deficiency that she has to work through. She's getting selenium in her milk, and so she should be pulling out of this in no time at all and acting like a normal goat. But until she's really acting normal, I don't want to put her out with the herd and have her get picked on. So when she's stronger, if she were to get picked on, she'd be able to defend herself. So now that she's in the house and spending time with me, I've been trying to bring her out every day to socialize with her brothers so that they are bonded to her, and that's working out really well as well. Today it was just a little too cold and damp to do that, so I left her in, and maybe if the weather clears up I'll bring her back out to visit for a little while. I think I need to get another bowl like that. I've been saying that because the quail always lay their eggs in the food. So I think if I get another bowl and put dusting material for them to take a dust bath in, it'll encourage them to stay out of their food. Maybe I should be using a smaller bowl for their feed. Maybe that would help. But the quail are doing great. They lay lots of eggs for me, which is super awesome. You see there's already eggs in every section today. So, loving that. All right, everybody has been completely taken care of. They all seem very content and happy. So it's time for me to go back in, give Autumn her next bottle, and start thinking about what I'm gonna make for dinner tonight. It's kind of the rainy, gloomy day. Pot of deer chili sounds really good. I don't know if all of you watched the video where I mentioned I have been slowly introducing small amounts of nightshades, and it's been very okay, awesome, no reaction. So I'm super excited about that, and I have some homegrown tomatoes in the freezer from last year that I could use, and we have our roadkill deer, fresh roadkill, for any of you that didn't already hear about that. And so I was thinking maybe I could do that, but it's already so late in the day. I like to make chili all day, let it simmer, so maybe I'll do that this weekend. That sounds really good. I'm so excited about being able to eat nightshades. Like, it opens up so many meals for me, meals that I've been missing. Like, I can deal with no gluten for the rest of my life. I can, because I found a substitute for gluten-free pasta that I like. I found a substitute for gluten-free crackers that I like. What was the other thing? Pasta, crackers, bread. There's one brand at Kroger. It's a Kroger brand that's like wicked good that I haven't been able to find again because it's not at our local Kroger. Ryan got it when he was making a delivery at a Kroger for the flowers for the greenhouse. Then cereal. So yes, I'm a cereal junkie. I know cereal's bad, but there's a couple in the organic section that I found now that are made with beans instead of gluten, and awesomeness. So I'm content with being gluten-free now, and I'm comfortable with that. I do miss it. I love the idea of being able to just walk into a place and order whatever without worrying if there's gluten in it, but that's not something we do very often anyway, so no big deal. I'll figure out recipes for some of the other things. Like, I would really like a donut, so I'm gonna try some cassava recipes and test those out. So there's little things I can do to keep myself content, but nightshades was the main thing that I was the saddest about losing in my diet, because nightshades have been a big part of my life for a long time. I've been called the tomato queen for the last 10 years. Like, literally, like locally, I've been known as the tomato queen because I've always had so many tomatoes and so many different varieties of heirloom tomatoes that anytime anybody needs tomatoes, they just come to me. So I'm excited that next year I'll be able to grow some and definitely be able to enjoy that again. Because it's been a hard 3 months, I'll tell you. Not being able to enjoy nightshades has been the hardest part of it. Super excited to add those back into my diet, because it appears that I am safe with them, as are some other people with Hashimoto's. Some people react very strongly to them, and some people don't. It just all depends. And now that I've eliminated everything from my diet, I can start trying to add things back in. Gluten will be something I won't add back in because it is such a, shall I say, evil substance that it's not good for anybody. So I'm gonna try to avoid it at most cost. The exception I would make is if I was growing my own einkorn, or if I could find somebody growing einkorn, ancient grain, gluten, and then sprouting it and then making sourdough with it, so that most of the gluten would be eaten up. I could see that being a great treat for me. So yay. Yay! I love that I'm feeling so much better. It's amazing. What a difference to just have the diagnosis, do the elimination diet, get on good supplements, and fix your body. I mean, it's not ever going to be 100% fixed, but this is amazing what a turnaround I have had and how I feel. So, yes! Hooray for natural healing! Just a slight break in the rain. It's still misting out here, and the projected forecast is that it's going to get worse. So, I am headed back to the house now, and I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching, even on a boring rain day vlog. It's great to know that you guys still want to watch and keep up with our story. So thank you for that, and we'll see you next time on Wholesome Roots.